Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe if this isn't your first time here. Hi guys, so this is the outfit we're making today. If this is something you're interested in, please stick around and give me a thumbs up at the end. So like we do in all our videos, I'm just tracing out my block. So guys, I hope by this time you already have your block. Please, if you know you watch the bodice block video and you don't understand, you're a beginner and you're confused, you don't understand, please let me know so I can make a more detailed bodice block this slowly, and I explain everything you need to know so you can draft yours. So I'm just tracing it out, tracing out the dots and everything. So at the edge of the armhole, I'm just extending that line out. I'm going to be taking half an inch. If you've been watching our previous video, you should be used to this step by now. I'm going to be connecting that to the side that's just a smooth line. Then at the back, I'm doing the same thing, extending the armhole line, taking the same half inch. Guys, I'm doing this because this outfit has a sleeve. By now, if you've been watching our previous videos, you should be used to this step. So I'm just tracing everything now with a marker to make it much more visible. So the first thing I'm doing is marking out the length of the top. I ended up on 3 inches, so I'm just marking that out. And I'm going to be rolling that straight across, taking the same 3 inches at the back, taking the exact same 3 inches at the back. I'm just rolling that straight across. If you want yours longer, at this point you can increase the length, but I just felt like 3 inches was okay for me because the top is sort of like a crop top. So I'm just rolling that out. So the next thing I'm taking measurement is my shoulder to under bust measurement. So I'm marking that on the dot. You see, from the shoulder to the dot, I'm marking my under bust measurement. So now I'm checking that, and I'm from the waist, and I'm marking it so I can get the straight line across. I'm just rolling that straight across. So the next thing I'll be doing on that line, I'm going to be marking half an inch upward on the center front line. I'm connecting that with a smooth curve to the edge of the dot. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just showing you that line. So the next thing I'll do on that new curve line, I'm going to be marking 1 inch inwards, 1 inch, then 1 inch inward from the nape of the neck on the shoulder. So I'm connecting those two lines, the 1 inch down to the 1 inch at the top. So at the side, under bust line, I'm taking half an inch. So I'm connecting now that 1 inch point to that half inch under the under bust line at the side. That's a lot of words, but just look at what I'm saying. So that's what I'm doing. I connected that. So I'm checking that measurement now of my new side from my waist to that new point. I'm going to recreate it at the back from the waist. So I'm just rolling that straight across. So now I'm extending my dart lines, just making it a straight line. That's all I'm doing. Starting from that waist point, I'm rolling it just straight. Doesn't have to be wide, just straight, just so that that point is straight. Just like I'm doing it. So guys, please just do yours like that. And then I'm going to trim it all out. So I'm just marking what this is. That's my back and that's my front. So I'm extending that point, where my that half inch point, I'm extending it out so I can take out my button placket measurement. I'm using 1 inch for my button placket, and I'm going to roll that straight across. Just 1 inch is okay, guys. So I'm just smoothing the curve at the waist because nobody has straight body. We have curves on our body, so I'm just smoothing that out to create curves. So I'm cutting that out. I want to work on the down first, so I'm starting with the back. So I'm marking center back, side back. So now I'm separating the darts so I can close it up. I'm marking the front, center front, side front. I'm just cutting it out. So I'm indicating up, down, because it can tend to look the same after you've closed up the darts. So I'm marking again up, down, so I know which parts are my top and which parts are my bottom. So I'm closing up the dart again, just like I did in the back, and the bottom part is ready. So I'm going to go back to the top part and conclude that. So now I'm just marking 1 inch from the shoulder downwards. Then I'm extending the side darts outwards to a straight line. I'm marking a 1/4 inch. This is to take away the ease from the neckline, connecting it to that line. So I'm just cutting this out. So I want to close up that 1/4 inch I took. So I'm cutting at that point, just separating my front from my back. I'm cutting on the side dart line, so I can close up that front allowance dart that I took. So I'm close that up. Then I'm going to be opening the bottom darts, so I can close up the side darts, just like that. So I'm done closing up the side darts. I'm marking that 1 inch. I'm marking where the center front is, the side front, the up and down, because I'm going to be attaching that to the back. So I need to know where the top, the sides and the front are. So I'm cutting that out. I'm going to keep that aside. Please keep yours aside. Just completing the side line, and then I'm cutting that. So now it's time to open up these pieces so that it can have the fullness we see on the design. So I'm just making random straight lines. So just make random straight lines on yours. Just random lines. After that, I'm going to bring in an extra paper underneath it. I'm just using the shoulder seam to get the border line I'll be using. So I'm separating the first piece, and I'm attaching that with a tape. I'm going to be measuring 1 inch. First of all, I'm cutting off the second piece. It's a distance of 1 inch, because the previous style I made, I used 2 inch and I felt like it was too full, so I wanted to use 1 inch on this and see if I would like it. So 1 inch, 1 inch, and then I'm just sealing everything down so it lays flat. So now I'm going to complete the bottom curve. Please, do you see the way I'm doing? I'm not touching every line. I'm only touching the beginning and then using the curve to meet the end. So just make yours like that. So I'm trimming that out. And this part is ready. So it's time for the back. Remember that piece we kept aside? I'm going to be attaching it to the back, meeting the edge of the shoulder with the edge of the shoulder, meeting the beginning to the beginning. Do you see that 1 inch we took away at the front? That's why you have that space between the back and the neck. So I'm going to be taking away that 1 inch too. So using this front as my guide, I'm going to be creating a new neckline. You see the way I did that? So just do yours like that. Just using a marker so you can see what I'm saying. So this is my new back neckline. Do you see? It's rhyming with the front. So I'm just making a line from the dart upward because I want fullness at my back. So I'm just going to open that up. I'm going to be attaching another paper, contrasting paper underneath, just so you can see what I'm doing. I'll open that up. Use a tape to, I'm going to getting exactly 2 inches, starting from the leg of the dart, with the space included, to the leg of the other dart. Everything totaling 2 inches. If you want yours fuller, you can do that, but to me, I felt like 2 inches was just fine. So I'm just connecting the 2 points together, and I'm trimming out the excesses. So the back is ready. This is our back, and this is our front. So I'm going to be joining that. So I'm going to be joining that to the back. So I'm going to be measuring out what I need for my kimono collar. So I need 2 inches of that. So I'm just trying to get an idea of what the length is. You see, I'm tracing out the neck, the back neck, and then the front. Placing it, continuing from the front and measure it all the way down. This is giving me 17.5, but I'm just going to cut up to 20 and I'll trim out whatever excess I have. So I just wrote that down, 17.5. So the pattern is ready. Now time for the sleeve. I'm going to use my sleeve block. I'm going to be opening it up. So this is what it looks like when I opened it up. I'm putting a contrasting paper underneath, separating the sleeve. I place that on one side. Using a ruler as a guide to get the extra straight line, I'll place the other one. I took 6 inches. You can take more if you have more fabric and you want more pleats at the shoulder. So I'm extending mine by only 6 inches because I don't have a lot of fabric. So I'm just putting that down. And then I'm going to be connecting these 2 lines with a curve. See, I'm not starting from the tip. I'm mimicking the curve from the middle where it feels very smooth. You see, and I'm just blending that in to get a nice rounded curve. So I'm just going to trim off the excess. I'm folding that into 2, touching edge to edge so I can get the middle. I'm just going to make a notch there so I can know my middle. And with that, our sleeve block is ready. Please guys, the space at the bottom, you make up for it when you're cutting your fabric. I didn't have enough paper. So that's the front, and that's the back, and that's the sleeve, and everything is ready. So guys, I'll see you guys on the part 2. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.